Alright, so let's try this one here. How can you tell if a ruler is not based on the SI system? Well, the SI system is always based on divisions of 10. And if I look at these here, right, if I look between, say, the 1 and the 2, what I'll find is there are 8, not 10 divisions. Look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 divisions. For that reason, it's not going to be metric. The other thing to point out is, if you look, in a metric system, these would be nice and even across. And here we have this very uneven, jiggy-jaggedness to the way the tick marks are. So 8 divisions, uneven tick marks. Now, for number 2, what we want to do is we want to record the most precise value. So the trick is, I know it's more than 2, I know it's less than 3. With a USCS ruler, what I have to do is I have to decide what the divisions are, and since there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 divisions, I'm counting by eighths. So I notice that this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little over 5/8, but it's not quite to 6/8. So what I have to do is I have to say, well, I'd take 5/8, and then I have to double that to make it 10/16. And since it's halfway between what would be 10/16, I add one that's 11/16. Get is 2 inches and 11/16 inches. So for number 3, what I have to do is figure out which of these values here is the smallest size. And it's a little tricky because we have halves, quarters, 30-seconds, 16ths, eighths. And so basically, if I sort through, it turns out that the answer here, 5/32 is the smallest one. Okay, so now for number 4, what I'm going to do is I want to find what is one size up from 11/32. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that into 12/32. And since 12 and 32 are both divisible by 4, what I end up getting is 3/8. That's what you get when you divide 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 32 divided by 4 is 8. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Now the next thing I want to do is which of the following is one size down from 11/32. So that would be 10/32. Well, 10 is divisible by 2. That gives me 5. And 32 is divisible by 2. That gives me 16. So my answer in this case is 5/16. Now for number 6 rather, I have to add all of this stuff here. Adding 3 numbers should not be a big deal. But look what I have to do. I have to start at the smallest values and make sure that 64, 32s, and 8ths. You know what? I need to find at least common denominator that's 64. So that what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to say 53 plus, now let's see, I have to double this to 64, so that's 53 plus 42. Now this one I have to multiply by 8, so 5 times 8, that's 40. So 53 plus 21, I said plus 42 plus 40. And what that gives me is, incredibly, that gives me 135. Now I have to take away from that, since 135 64th is an irregular fraction, I have to take away 64. And when I do that, I get 71/64, which is still an irregular fraction. I have to take away another 64, and that gives me 7. So that gives me 7/64 plus 2 inches. So I take these 2 inches and I add them to these here. 7 plus 8, that's 15, plus 3 is, you know what, this is crazy. Here's what the answer you get is, the 11 feet, 8 inches, and 7/64. My friends, I think it's time to admit that is absolutely insane. No one else in the world does this because everyone else in the world has realized this is a stupid way of doing things. So let's look how the rest of the world does it. The rest of the world uses the SI system, which means the international system, or the French Système International. And what they do is this. They say, look, we're going to divide, every one of our units is going to be divided into 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 divisions. And also, you can tell because they're kind of even, it's just the 5th one's a little bit longer. So I can look at this and tell that this is a metric ruler. Now, I'm going to record the most precise possible value for this. So here's the deal. I know it's more than 2. I know it's less than 3. I know it's more than 2.5. I know it's more than 2.6. So I know it's going to be 2.6, and then what I do is I look between here and here, and I imagine 10 little tick marks, and I think this black rectangle looks like it goes about 2 tick marks past that. So when I do this here, I'm going to record it as 2.63. I know the 2 for sure. I know the 6 for sure. And I'm estimating the 0.3. Did I say 0.2? I changed my mind. It's 0.3. Alright, let's look at number 8. Ruler B is a centimeter ruler. How do I know that it isn't accurate? Remember, accuracy means agreement. So basically the question is, I can take a regular centimeter ruler, hold it up here, and what I'm going to do that this one does not agree with the standard. That what this is calling a centimeter and what the rest of the world calls a centimeter are not the same. Therefore, ruler B is not accurate. Now, which of the following values here have the smallest size? Now remember, when we did it with inches, we had to figure out, with fractions and all that. Here it's really simple. I look here, which of these numbers looks the smallest? I see up here is 9 millimeters. Which one is one size up from 11 millimeters? Well, I think one size up from 11 would be 12 millimeters. Which of the following is one size down from 11? Last time I checked, 10 is one down from. To go with 10 millimeters. I'm starting to see why the rest of the world prefers metric socket wrenches. Now for number 11, I have to add up all the following measurements. All I have to do is put this number in my calculator, add it to this number, and add it to this number. Oh, sounds like it's time to go home. 573.438, and you know what? I was bad. I forgot to put centimeters. There you go. Now, I'm asking you with this last part here to give me 2 reasons why the SI system is preferable. I'll give you 3. Here we go. It is easier to take measurements. Like I just said, it's easier to look here and tell what this value, because it's easier to estimate between the tick marks. Also, easier to work with the measurements. If you have to add or subtract, it's a lot easier when you have to go for least common denominators. You don't have to pull out 12 to make a foot. And also, easier to convert the measurements. It's just that we're not going to be converting for another day or two, but it's also easier to turn centimeters into kilometers than it is to turn inches into miles.